So the Palestine,
Israel.
Israel.
He made a whole.
My bad. I don't be saying words proper. I'm saying it how I look like the letters.
Oh yeah,
The
it's
Palestine
right.
Israeli. There we go. I'll say Israeli. The Palestine Israeli conflict has led me to, in a piece of our conversation last week, has led me to a couple questions. I'll start it off with like the clickbaitable part where, in spite of religion, can people be moral? But what I really want to get into is the idea of is morality tied to religion? And can you be a moral person without religion?
And just to be sure, when you say religion, you're talking about like all
religious
these, like,
doctrine,
religious practices and all those things.
Talking
like
about Christianity is.
Or you're
like,
talking about this, like so we're not talking about individual relationship and spiritualism. You're talking about an actual
religion is the doctrine, right?
Religion.
The religion is the doctrine, the written words of things that you should, can do, the stories that are encompassed in that.
Well, I think
your
religion
spirituality.
Is the practice. I think religion is the practice. The book that I think those two different things. A book is the book, and then the religion is the practice of said thing.
Say that again.
I don't think that like the Bible is not a religion. We can agree because I would assume that we can agree because the Bible also has the collection of multiple.
It's the text of the religion.
It is religious though. Like the Bible is a religious book. Like if you're basing your morality off the Bible, that's being religious.
Okay, well, let's just run with it. We'll run with, because I don't want to get too
semantics
going and trying to define something. You want to answer the question? Go ahead.
Like I'm speaking of like, yes, we're speaking of like text-based morality, religious-based morality within the practice of things that you have read, and how you interpret it and act it out. That's typically what I guess every single religion is.
Well,
so I mean, life is a religion. Because don't people learn from regular books?
I think that we all kind of like use even outside, and that's why I don't want to go too far into like the defining part.
Can I answer?
No. Let's make sure. Are we going to clear the air? And do you want to ask the question again so that we can just?
I thought it was simple. I think right now y'all are. The word that is used is obfuscated, making it intentionally difficult.
What the fuck do that mean?
It's one of the best SAT words. I can easily define it. It's intentionally making something difficult that's not. So when I said religion, I think that Johnny, you understood it. I think that real in your heart, you understood what I meant.
No, I understand.
And like y'all do have the thing where y'all like to separate
spirituality
the idea
from religion.
Right. Even
that's
though
the only thing.
Yes, but like
spirituality from religion. But go ahead.
If you're still like practicing spirituality that's based off a book, I still think that's religious. A religion. I think that it's just a way to kind of like get into a different little angle.
What in
to
life
be able
that
to
we do isn't based off a book.
You know the funny thing.
I'm not talking about. I never said anything about a book.
I gotta answer. I gotta answer.
I think we're gonna get too far off.
I think that morality is what has made like. I think morality came first because religion, like people were here way before religion was, and in my head, like I said, I ain't got no facts to prove this. I'd have to go do my research because I didn't, But in my head, I feel like there were civilizations out here before the three big religions that we have now, and those people found a way.
You don't have to do research. That's a fact.
Okay, thank you. That's a fact. That was a fact. I wasn't sure.
All research, whether you want to go archaeology, whether you want to go written word, like everything.
I just didn't have it in my head, so I couldn't just pull it up and be like, "Oh, this is my proof." But like I thought it was true. That's why I said just in my head because but before religion came, because the religions only go back 2,000 years. People have been here for way longer than religion.
Crazy time.
And so morality, I think, has if there wasn't a thing as morality, us as a species, human beings, we wouldn't have gotten as far as we did because I think that's just human nature is to treat each other right and to be moral. I don't think you have to have a book to teach you right and wrong. I think as a kid, like I remember like before I even knew right and wrong, it
was a feeling.
It was a feeling. Like it was something what felt wrong, what felt right. And so like if we just go back down to just simple just human nature, we know what's right and we know what's wrong, and so you don't need a religion. And I think the religion is just based on those natural human instincts.
But they call that natural law.
I think that we
and
also
and that's where religion comes from, is the natural human law. And then because there's been so many different languages, so many different civilizations over the course of world history, that you get different religions. You get Islam, you get Judaism, you get Christianity, Hindu, Buddhism. You get all these different religions, but they're all, if you go down, they all based on an idea of like a God. Like it's usually like just one.
Well, that's
God.
not true. Buddhism and Hinduism isn't based off of God.
But it's based on human nature.
Right. I think they all revolve around the golden principle.
And I think just the religions, like religion is just, to me, I look at religion as language. Whatever religion you are, it's just kind of like, it's based on where you were born, where you're doing. It's just basically like your language. It's how you speak to God. Is how I look at religion.
But what you call God.
Or what you call God. But the idea of being a good person goes, it translates through all the religions. So it can't just be like a singular religious thing. It has to be based on something bigger than even the concept of religion.
So somebody who practices the religion, just real quick, somebody who practices the religion of Satanism can be a good person?
I don't know what the religion of Satanism is.
Like, that's actually a religion.
What is that religion based on?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm sure they have good and bad. But in the like, what is it based on?
That's called a straw man.
Do what thou wilt. Do whatever you want.
So there's no punishment.
That's pretty much their
so
belief.
there's no punishment. There's no retribution.
Yeah, it's pretty much do whatever you want. Is the whole pretty much their law.
And
is that true? I feel like there's like a couple.
There has to be something.
Like there's a little bit more of a layer
there has
to
to
this.
Be something else to it besides
like
that.
I don't know like the full idea of like
I'm saying,
Satanism.
what you want.
Hold on, let me because of, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't it like, isn't it based somewhere along the lines of like they mischaracterized Satan in the Bible and he was actually a fallen angel or something like
angel, that? Yeah, I think
it's not even about worshiping Satan for them. Theirs is just a matter of do whatever you want to. It's more so, it's not about worshiping Satan. It's about not doing what God says.
So in doing, I got a question about that. So in doing what you want to do.
Oh, but that's a religion. So this goes to my point though.
But is there any like retribution? There has to be like, if you do this, then X, Y, Z will happen. If you do that, then A, B, C will happen. Like there has to be like consequences.
There wouldn't be any, like now. I don't claim to know everything about Satanism, but with theirs, do what you want. You don't have to answer to God. Like there's nobody to answer to. You can do it.
But that's a religion.
Because I could understand if like they said this religion, I don't agree with that. So I'm like in like. An answer to that would be you can just do what you want because their laws.
But that's still a religion. Like Satanism would then be a religion.
And he's still trying to double down on what the question is. If y'all y'all arguing like the question, but he's doubling down on the fact that it, in spite of the religion, could you have morality?
And I'm saying, can you have morality without religion? What you're pointing to is the fact that there are immoral religions. Mm-hmm. And that goes to my point of like the idea of like, can you have morality with or is morality based on religion? And then the follow up is, can you have morality in spite of religion? Because there are so many different versions of bastardized religions. Again, if we look at the death toll throughout human history of human involved deaths, it all like on the highest part of that bar graph and that pie, it is. Not just Christianity, it's religion. It's all made religion.
The jihads, like all like most of the wars are fought.
And see, the thing is this is the thing, and that's why I was going to go into what you said, like the natural law. Mm-hmm. You were saying the natural law, and you said that like it's natural for us to be, you know what I mean, to do certain things, right?
Conscious.
So the thing is that us also, as we sit here and talk about, you can say that in the name of religion that these things have been done, but this is also naturally what we want to do is to conquer. We naturally want more, and we want to take from the weak and be greed is a very natural human characteristic. And so
because I think so.
But hold on. I think if you, because the thing is, I think that they say because in the name of the religion. They say it's in the name of the religion, but there was always that reasoning aside from that for the act that was being made. It wasn't just because these people are the opposing belief system. It's not just that.
So
it's also benefits to us taking over, which is the.
So you're saying people are naturally bad?
I think that people naturally are good and bad.
Okay, but so, I guess so. Are you also saying that? Because that would still be like in spite of religion, like
no, and I'm not answering your question just yet. I'm just kind of going off of what just thinking about our previous conversations that we had about natural, and then now hearing after Johnny said what he was saying, just kind of bringing those two thoughts together. So for me personally, right? So for me personally, for the longest time, I felt like me simply being a good person would be enough for me in the afterlife or for me to get to whatever the place is of like where, you know what I mean? Let's say heaven, right? The idea of heaven. I felt like me doing good to people and, you know what I mean, holding myself to a moral standard that was above certain, you know what I mean, things that would just naturally, like you said, what I call like the Holy Spirit, what I feel like what tells me, okay, this thing right here ain't, you know what I mean, that ain't the way to go. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't sit well with your spirit, your inner man, however you want to define it. So I think that if you look at it, and so I'll tell you both on both sides. So I felt like I was a great person, right? I felt like I was a really good person then, before I even started like getting or attempting. So I haven't like gotten to this grand walk with the Bible. I haven't gotten into this place. But what I'll say is that I felt like I was a good person then, right? At the end of the day, me trying to develop a relationship, and that's why I say like spirituality versus religion. And I'm gonna answer it the way that I know how. I can't answer it for like the religious part. I just answer it just my relationship walk type John. So me just being a good person was what I stood on. And then now what it's done is that it's almost like giving me more of a reason to do what I was, and then it makes me even want it pushes or at least for me, it pushed my level of morality to another place.
Religion.
But were you moral prior to?
No, I felt like I was more prior to, but it also gives you a lot of how I want to say this.
Well, I guess this
religion told you to do something that was immoral, though. Would you still do it?
Well, I don't have a religion. I ain't say I was Christian. I'm not Christian.
But I'm saying, but to me, because what I think of that, like what about like all the bad shit that's been done in the name of religion, and people think like I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think that they're literally convincing themselves to do what they already wanted to do.
But if we talking about like,
that's my opinion.
Look
at
how much
they're literally convincing themselves to do what they want to do for the benefit of themselves.
I say that
and
all
then
the time.
Say to try to act like you are the problem because of such and such. You're a religious background. You wanted to do it for the benefit that you was going to do it for, but then you make it, you demonize their religion to make your people feel better about what you're going to do to them. So you just using it as a guise, to go ahead and do what you was going to do as the man itself for the benefit that you were going to do it for anyway.
That's what I was about to say.
That's at least how I feel about it.
I don't see people check out of a lot of stuff.
As a human, you want to go and get more land, so you're going to demonize the people in that land to say that
how can religion be moral? People can take it.
Well, I don't think that they're making y'all not making an argument for religion being like the guise of moral good, correct?
No. I'm not. No,
okay,
I don't. Yeah, so I agree with the premise of your question.
I don't think anybody's like.
I believe that you can be a good person and not be a religious person.
Okay. Yeah, but
that's absolutely. That's what your question is. You're asking. Do you think you can be a good person aside from religion? And I 100% believe you can be a good person aside from religion.
Mm-hmm. I think what you was trying to say basically was like how a lot of people use a religion or not wanting to be a part of a religion as an excuse to do something they wanted to do anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we convince ourselves and validate different things. It's all you trying to validate something that you already wanted to do. Like, that's like the idea of somebody saying, I cheated on them because of such and such. You really wanted to cheat anyway. You actually were attracted to that person, and you really wanted to mess with them. But then you'll go double back and be like, oh, you're working long hours, but you didn't mind the long hours until you met bruh. And so you want to do this, and it's just what you just validate. We all validate things that we want to do through different means. I think that's actually very human as well.
Gotcha. So like if we're at, you know what I mean, kind of like building on to the question or onto the conversation. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like everybody's in agreement that morality isn't based in a religion or religious doctrine or whatnot. Where do y'all believe morals come from? Where do you get your morals from?
It comes to me. It just comes from like, I don't know how to put it, but like energy. Like, you know, when you putting bad energy in the world, and you know when you putting good energy in the world, you can feel the difference. And so, man, if it's not based on like a religious thing saying this is right or wrong, or even like legality. This is right or wrong. Like I know when I shit on somebody, how it makes me feel. I know when I do good by somebody, how it makes me feel. And to me, that's where it has to come from. It's just the positive and negative energy that goes into it.
I kind of want to answer this because it's crazy. Both of y'all questions kind of, for me, it's kind of the same answer to some degree. But I'm gonna put it in generic form first. Like where I get my morality from would be like experience, like watching what I see, what I experience, what I've learned, and a lot of that does come from my belief system, what you would deem as religion. Like actually reading the Bible and reading the stories about the people that's in there, and especially when it comes to Jesus and the stuff that he's saying, that stuff really does influence my morals. Given I did have morals that I was taught, growing up. I did come up with certain things, but as a man, like, you start adjusting your choices because you have choices that are made for you that you naturally just live for years until you realize like, hey, this isn't working for me, or this isn't true.
Right, and I guess like as you continue unpacking, I do want to give like the clarification that I'm also, I guess me specifically, I'm also not saying that you can't get morals from religion either. I think that I think you can get morals from a bunch of different places. I know that there are some people that believe that morality, like you can't be a practicing moral person if you are void of religion, and that religion is the basis of morality. There are people that have that belief system, but it doesn't really sound like I don't know, like we specifically have like that opinion inside the room. I don't know. Did I cut you off?
Not really. You actually just alluded to that. That's kind of what I was trying to clarify too. But if we want to just expanding on the conversation as you were saying something, I started thinking. Now while we all have different beliefs, I would dare say that we all do believe in God. Like we believe God is real. Like there's a creator of the universe.
There's a higher being. Like what do you call it? Allah.
I say creator. There's a creator.
Yes, there is somebody.
I think there's a creator, and I think that energy is evoked in every living thing on the planet. Like whether it's plants, animals, people. I think that's why I think morality more so does literally come directly from God. That innate.
Outside of religion.
Yeah, outside of religion. It's that innate relationship or that innate thing, that innate energy that exists within all of us. We all, like, no matter whether we believe, whatever we believe in or not, nobody would really be operating. It's obvious there's a creator. There's things that our bodies just do automatically that cannot have just, for all of this to be seamless and work the way it does, it can't just be somebody just, like, this was just done by nobody.
Like the golden rule, I don't think that came from religion. I think that just came from just...
And that's the thing, like...
being like, treat others how you want to be treated. And that's not a religious thing. That's just a...
And that's literally like, what I was going to say.
Survival thing. Like
you take it all the way back to treat others how you want to be treated. And I think that, like, the creator, like, as we can make it and agree that, like, I don't think that God means religion. You know what I mean? And so, like, that's why we ended up getting into like a back and forth about the whole religion and trying to define religion. And I'm not trying to play semantics or anything. I wasn't trying to do it, but I wanted to make sure that these are like these just to say God doesn't mean Christianity, and so we have to make sure that, or any specific religion. And so that's why I was trying to make sure that there's a difference.
But so I also think that like atheists can be ethical as well. I think they're probably some of the most moral people.
I don't think that atheists, like, based on my understanding, that they don't not believe in a creator.
Well, that's the definition of atheist. Agnostic means that you don't know. And like
but even with some atheists, I've actually spoken to some atheists. They believe it's not that they don't believe in. They don't like a lot of atheists just don't believe in the religions and they identify as atheists. But when you start talking,
what
to
atheists? I guess you have to show me. Like,
saying, when you start,
really atheists.
Yeah, about to say that. Like atheists do not believe.
Like if you say
like,
you're atheist.
Oh yeah, no. It says a person who disbelieves or lacks belief in the existence of God or gods.
Yeah,
so that's
agnostic
what atheist means.
It's like
so I think we're talking about agnostic people who
but I'm still saying it's a lot of people who say they identify as atheist, and then when you start talking to them, you find out they don't really identify as atheists.
It's really like a religion thing. Really, a lot of those it's a religion thing. And so I think, but either way, I think that the ethic
people will say anything.
I think that the moral, people that they just be wanting to be in a group. A lot of people just want to be able to fit in a group and call themselves a thing. But I do believe that, like, I think that the moral, like you said, that universal law, I think that it does stem from the Creator. I think it's something that it's a universal understanding. It's a universal understanding that everybody, like, no matter what you believe, you still feel a way when you do something to a person.
We even see it in
when
the
you
animals.
treat a person away, you feel, regardless of what your belief, it's still something that it's a universal understanding that it just doesn't feel good. You know when you're taking advantage. You know when you're being taken advantage of. It's just something that's just innate in us. That was programmed within the sense of like your brain breathing, your brain forcing you to breathe, your inability to drown yourself. It's like literally like those that it's like in you into the point of that.
Got you.
I agree with it.
I guess I don't specifically push it to a creator. I do think that there's just like innate universal laws, in which then it goes into like the idea of whatever your belief system is. Like I said, I do believe that someone that can be an atheist can easily be a very moral person. I think that a lot of like morals and ethics come from the conversations of like philosophers who are innately atheists. Whether you want to go Galileo, Socrates, XYZ, like as far back as you can go, it's kind of like the idea of questioning what is to be questioned. If I was to answer the question, where do I get my personal morals from? I think a lot of it is based off of the golden rule, which is simple as like do unto others as you would want done to yourself. I also believe in the idea of doing what's good for I'll go macro to micro. What's good for the world? What's good for the community? What's good for the family? What's good for myself? And making sure that all things can be balanced within that inside best it can without kind of hurting anybody within that ecosystem. And yeah, I mean like that. Those are kind of like the general spaces that I personally get my morality from.
No, I fuck with it. I guess we didn't all got it out. That was a good conversation. We'll go ahead and put a pin in that.